go through all the struggles, encouraged him through the various stages, and been a pillar of strength to his spine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. K. Ovia as she comes to speak about the book and about the journey. And this is the one speaker that probably doesn't need to read any portion of it to tell you the stories about it. Please join me and welcome her one more time. Put your hands together for Mrs. K. Ovia.
Thank you. What can I say, my darling husband? You've been an inspiration to all. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, SAN-GCON. You're welcome. I crave everybody else's indulgence, and yours, sir, to stand on the existing protocol. Jim has said I should make it short. I should not go funny, so I'm going to make it very short. I read from chapter 26, which I think applies to me and the children, because it was something we all went through. It's called Work and Family Ethics. And thus I read. I've always felt it was important to take time to relax and spend some hard-earned dividends on a little good old-fashioned fun. After finishing my MBA, it was Lagos that many of my friends and I went back to work. Back then, we called ourselves the Lagos Boys, named for the place we knew we could both work and enjoy a little social life. In the early 1970s, when I got my first job as a bank clerk in the good old Barclays Bank, I think everybody has heard that a number of times, my friends and I used to take the public bus, the LMTS, everywhere we needed to go. After work, sometimes we'd go to Fella's African Shrine. We don't know what he got up to there. That's the original shrine, by the way, where you could eat snacks and listen to the Afrobeat king, Fela Ransom Kuti, also known as Fela Anikulapo Kuti, whose album Shakara was a national sensation. Sometimes we'll go to the bar beach just to relax and sit while watching the water and listening to the waves. Lagos always was, and still is, and always will remain a business center with the associated hustle and bustle, but with the added benefit of any dining or entertaining experience that you could so desire. In conclusion of that chapter, Jim says, it's likely that the distinction between office and home will always continue to be a blur, as technology enables more people to work on the go without any old reliance on the physical workplace, to the extent that one can derive authentic pleasure from both the workplace and at home. I believe the marriage of the two can be a very happy one. It certainly is for me. That's the end of that chapter. Jim, my darling, congratulations once again. You've made this dream come true, and we know that you're a lot of inspiration to a lot of people. Many people have said so many wonderful things, and I sit down there and I'm thinking, oh, wow. Is this true? I know it is. Only you could have done it. Thank you for being our inspiration. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for being who you are. I promise that our support, I don't have to buy the books. I've read it, I've seen it, I was even the first to finish reading it. But I promise you that in your journey on authoring, we will certainly be beside you, we will certainly be cheering you on, and just to let you know, we love you, I love you. Thank you.
In case you're wondering about the two bodyguards that escorted her onto the stage, those happen to be her sons. Of her 5 children, they're the 2 boys. I have it on good information. They have received the best education possible. One's in business management, the other is in biochemical engineering or something like that. We will start bidding for their hands in marriage at $1 million each. $1 million, do I hear $2 million, $2 million, do I hear $3 million, thank you. Do I hear $4 million, $4 million, thank you very much. Do I hear $5 million, $5 million from the married woman in the corner, thank you very much. Do I hear $6 million? Sold to you, madam, we'll deliver shortly. All right. Forgive my bad behavior. All right, let's move on very quickly with one of our remaining speakers. We're almost at the end of our speakers. Please make welcome a senior advocate of Nigeria and founding partner of Kenna Partners, Professor Fabian Ajogu, who's coming to do a review as well of the book. Keep welcoming him as he comes up here. Quite the gentleman, dapper in nature and suave in charisma. Professor Fabian Ajogu, SAN.
His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I respectfully take on the existing protocols that have been laid out. It's an honor to be here to share with you excerpts of this very interesting book. I have had the privilege of reading it in prior, and I would say that all that we have done as speakers will be to whet your appetite for this great piece of art. In his foreword to my book on ship finance and acquisition, the author, Mr. Jim Ovia, said, and I quote, "The good seaman weathers the storm he cannot avoid, and avoids the storm he cannot weather." Ladies and gentlemen, this defines the man that we celebrate today and read pieces of his work. I would then read from chapter 25, which in many ways is a caselet, and I take strong interest of this, being involved with the Lagos Business School. That chapter talks about how and why MTN bought Visaphone. In the opening, he had started a sentence that reads, "Financial markets can move very fast anywhere on the globe. There is no such thing as African time in business." And this is very important because the principles of success are indeed global best practices. There is not an exception that this is our own way of doing it. And he goes on to say, "I have never sold businesses before, only acquired them. I had nurtured every one of my companies from cradle, building every business from scratch, and imbuing each with my blueprint for success, regardless of the sector. I had reaped benefits via the dividends that each one of those companies had paid out. It felt as if we had just started Visaphone and watched as the company started to take its first major steps into the big league with 2 million subscribers and growing. Visaphone operated globally, employing some 2,000 staff and occupying 80 mini shops and retail outlets." Ladies and gentlemen, it is not only the success a man builds, but the wealth he creates for others. Mr. Ovia has created jobs, wealth, and by implication, tax revenues to our landlord sitting here, Governor Ambode, and across the Federation. I had to set aside emotions. MTN knew I had the resources at my fingertip to continue to drive Visaphone forward. The only reason I might consider selling, the reason, was if the price tag was enough to justify my parting with the business, the staff, the stake in the industry, and with the spectrum itself. He goes on to say that operators know that spectrum is a very scarce commodity. It is the artery that pumps their calls and hence their revenues across